Welcome to the Powerbomb Podcast. I'm JP, and let's get into Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And just with my eyes, what I saw. This New York Knicks team is going to be tough to beat. And I'm not going to go out of my way and say the Knicks are definitely winning the championship. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a sweep if they win Game 2. But I am saying this. The Spurs have a lot of things going against them, and they have a lot to show me in Game 2. Because if they play like they did last night, this will be a short series for the San Antonio Spurs. And here are some of the things that I feel are going against this team. One, where's their veteran presence? They don't have one. This is a very young team, and their coach is also very inexperienced, and it played out last night with the way Mike Brown made adjustments every time he tried to make adjustments. The Spurs, we have to look honestly, because everybody was so big on comparing the strength of playoffs and everything, and how the Knicks went through the Sixers, and they went through the Hawks, and they went through the Cleveland Cavaliers, which are not exactly world beaters. But I think we have to honestly look at who the Spurs played, and I think we have to start with the Portland Trailblazers. It's nothing that great about the Portland Trailblazers. They were a play-in team that made the playoffs. And then they faced the Timberwolves, but they were missing Ant-Man for 2 of those games. And then they played the Thunder, and this is where I'm confused. They play the Thunder, and the Thunder are more of a finesse team. They're not a physical team, because normally physical teams don't look for whistles every time they try to go to the basket. And I feel that the Spurs run might be a little weaker than the East run, and because I think the East plays a more physical brand of basketball. The Thunder don't play physical, the Timberwolves don't play physical, and the Trailblazers don't play physical. So I think the Spurs have their hands full with a very physical New York Knicks team, where Cat is going to go at Wembanyama a lot. And I don't know if the Spurs can combat that. Because if you get Wemby off his spot, he's a tall dude. Now, because he has the wingspan, he can get back and, block shots. But he cannot turn on a dime and stop somebody. He just can't. And I think we have to look at the Spurs coach being very inexperienced himself and see that I don't know if he can make adjustments where Mike Brown is going to make adjustments. Mike Brown was with Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. Mike Brown was just the coach of the Sacramento Kings, and Lord knows what the hell that franchise is doing, because Mike Brown seems like he's a pretty damn good coach. But this Knicks team with Jalen Brunson, who fourth quarter Brunson, I mean, that was spectacular what he does in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's something else. And then you have Anunoby making big shots in the fourth quarter, and Shamet has been a really good three-point shooter, and McBride. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns, who knows how to get to Wemby. And Robinson did a good job on Wemby as well yesterday, and Josh Hart. Josh Hart may not be able to shoot the ball straight, but by God, he can get you rebounds when you need them. I feel Game 2 is massively important for the San Antonio Spurs. And I'm not going to sit here and say they can't win a game at Madison Square Garden, that it's going to be too tough for them, or the crowd's going to be too crazy for them. But I will say this. You go down 0-2 to a team that's going to out-physical you, out-coach you, and to be honest, out-condition you, and you're going to come back from that down 2-0? I'm not sold on that. And I also want to say another thing about Wemby. I think we need to pump the brakes on the he's going to be one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Because with his lack of physicality, he's too nice. And I saw last night watching Wemby, Ewing would have put up 50. Pippen would have put up 50. Jordan would have put up 50. Steph Curry would put up 50. Draymond would eat him. There's a lot of physical basketball players that would have tremendous success against Wemby because he doesn't have the dog in him. Okay? He doesn't have that, you try to do this again, I'm going to knock you on your ass. He doesn't have that mentality. Sure, he threw that elbow against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he got suspended 1 game for it. But he don't have it. And that's not something you can just learn. And also, Wemby, do yourself a favor. You need to eat, man. You need to eat. You need to bulk up because you're way too thin and you're going to get pushed around. And I'm going to say this right now, and this is a hot take. If the physicality keeps up with Wemby, with the Knicks, if the Knicks keep going at him, I will be very surprised if Wemby does not leave these finals with a serious injury. And I'm not wishing that upon anybody. I don't wish injuries upon people. But I will say this. The Knicks keep going at him the way the way they're doing it. Wembanyama is going to suffer an injury of some kind. He's either going to tear an ACL or he's going to break a finger or something. But he's gonna have some serious rib bruises if the Knicks keep going at him this way. But the Knicks win game 2. This is going to be damn tough for the Spurs to come back from. It will be very tough for this Spurs team to come back from if they cannot take game 2 in San Antonio, because Madison Square Garden is going to be off the charts. It's going to be an animal at that place, and I'm not buying into the whole it can affect the Spurs to the point where they can lose games. But if you're down 2-0 and you have every person in New York City ripping you a new asshole while you're playing basketball, it can be a damning thing, because that pressure, because those fans are on top of that court and you hear everything. So if these Spurs do not take game 2 and they go down 2-0 going back to New York, then Knicks may not have to take a flight back to San Antonio. I'm just saying. I'm not predicting it, but it could be there, especially with Mike Brown making adjustments the way he is, Shamet playing the way he is, Josh Hart getting rebounds, Karl Anthony Towns going right at Wemby, Jalen Brunson taking over in the fourth quarter, Anunoby making clutch threes, McBride doing his thing, Alvarado, Clarkson. Like, this team's got some dogs, and they're an Eastern Conference team. The Eastern Conference is known for toughness. It's known for their toughness. Like, the West is a very finesse league if you think about it. Very finesse league. And the Knicks are not looking for whistles. The Thunder were looking for whistles left and right. This Knicks team isn't doing that. This Knicks team is looking like... Now, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying with the way the whistles are, very much how the Bulls learned to be like, all right, whistles are going to happen. We just have to play through it. And that's what I'm seeing from this Knicks team. I'm not comparing them to the Bulls. I'm just saying their mentality is very much like Chicago's. All right, everyone. Have a good day.